Call me the Punisher, ain't that right? The big bad Punisher.
Hello Geek Peeps and welcome to another video. Today I'll be taking you through my top 10 favorite Punisher fights from the Netflix series The Punisher and also from Daredevil Season 2 where we were first introduced to the character. So let's get to it. Number 10, Frank vs. Work Thugs, Punisher Season 1. After seemingly tracking down and killing those responsible for the deaths of his family, Frank intends to keep his head down as he starts working on a construction site under his new name, Pete. He soon becomes aware of a workplace loner who gets involved in a small-time gang in his desperation to make friends. This, as you'd expect, goes tits up, and the gang try to put the poor kid down by drowning him in cement. This is where Frank steps in.
Shut it off.
Unable to stand by and watch, Frank takes out every one of the gang members without even taking a hit.
Tonight just gets better and better. Please, just let me go, man. Take the money. Take the money, man. You don't have to kill me over this.
I'm gonna find a home for this.
Number 9, Frank vs. the Irish Mob, Daredevil Season 2. After killing members of an Irish mob and stealing $1.2 million from them, Frank finds himself being tasered, taken to an underground catacomb, and tortured by a man called Finn Cooley and his gang of men as they try to find out where Frank had hidden their money.
You're dying tonight. The hole's been dug. I was hoping it would come to this.
You gotta do what you gotta talk about it. I'm here! I'll kill every one of you bastards!
Frank takes a beating but gives nothing up until the mob threatens to torture his dog.
If I don't get my money, everything I've done to you, I'm doing double to poor Fido, yeah?
Frank then breaks free from his chair using a concealed razor blade, and we get to see Frank in real action for the first time.
Son of a bitch.
He's loose! Get down here! Jimmy! Sean! Jimmy! Jimmy! Sean!
One by one, Frank takes them out without hesitation until Daredevil shows up and prevents Frank from killing any more of them.
No killing.
Altar boy.
Number 8, Frank vs. John Pilgrim's Thugs, Punisher Season 2. In at number 8, we see Frank trying to live out his life again. Minding his own business at a bar, he sees a young girl who is clearly caught up in some bad business. She's followed into the bathroom by a small group of trained killers who work for a man called John Pilgrim. Frank spots this from across the room and follows behind. Taking out the guard at the door, Frank enters the bathroom and does what he does best. What I like about this fight is it's the first time we see Frank taking on women and he doesn't hold back. An enemy is an enemy in Frank's eyes. Now that's equality. Number 7, Frank versus John Pilgrim, Punisher, Season 2. The final episode of The Punisher Season 2 shows Frank Castle and John Pilgrim finally facing off.
Where is he? Huh?
The only thing that lets this fight down, in my opinion, is the fact that by this point in the series, both Frank and John are pretty beaten up, which makes this fight a bit more slower paced. I'd like to have seen how the fight would have played out if they were both fighting fit. That being said, the final fight is a gritty one, which ultimately sees Frank just about get the upper hand. Number 6, Frank versus Prisoners, Daredevil Season 2. After Frank finds himself locked up for his previous crimes, he soon crosses paths with the Kingpin. Kingpin instantly begins to use Frank and his skills for his own advantage. He encourages and enables Frank in killing another inmate called Dutton, a rival to Kingpin in the prison. He tells Frank that Dutton had something to do with the murders of his family, and then arranges safe passage for Frank to get to his cell. Little did Frank know, the Kingpin had also planned to have the rest of Dutton's block set loose to finish Frank off. This didn't go well for any of the prisoners, as Frank makes light work of taking them out in this massive prison brawl.
Let's go! Let's go! Come on. You're dead!
Number 5, Frank versus Afghan insurgents, Punisher, Season 1. After being made a squad leader on a mission to take out a high-value target, Frank tries to warn everyone that the whole thing is a setup and a trap.
You got something to add, Castle?
Sir, this looks like an ambush. I think this is a trap. I think it's a trap because it's exactly what I would do.
Russo?
I trust Frank's instincts, sir.
And I trust hard-earned, thoroughly vetted intelligence. I'll take my information over the vague notions of the war whisperer over here.
The man in charge, William Rawlins, decides to ignore Frank's warnings and sends Frank and his squad off on the mission.
Prep your teams.
I think if we do this, men are gonna die.
As Frank had feared, the mission was an ambush organized by Afghan insurgents. A large amount of the squad were killed and many more were injured, so Frank took it upon himself to go through a building, clearing it out in order to grant safe passage for the surviving soldiers. The rest is history. I love this fight because it's one of the only times we really get to see Frank in a war zone doing what he does best.
Country, I was a soldier for you. I did what you asked me to. It was wrong and you knew. A number, a name, it's true. Throw me away when you're through. The home of the brave and the free, the red, white, and blue.
That's it for part 1, guys. Be sure to check out the second part to this video on my channel. Peace.